Hello, everyone. This is Linda Ferguson.
Karen Nelson Powell.
Oh, and who else is there, Karen?
This is Bear. Bear is an adoptee. I adopted him when his mommy had some troubles in life and she couldn't care for him anymore. So he came to live with me, and he does everything with me. He sits behind the desk and he kind of guides me and tells me when I'm, need to do this or that. And I have pictures of him all over the house. I've got pictures of him driving a car. He's very particular. He wants to be a participant in everything. He wanted to be here. So,
well, that's good because he's participating in this episode of Platinum Prime for Life, your podcast where we share our tips and tricks and hacks for living a Platinum Prime life. Oh, so he just wanted the experience, but now
he's always there. See his little foot. He's always sitting with me, giving
hey, that's good.
over my shoulder. Like it's not Big Brother, it's Big Bear. Big
So
Bear is
cute.
watching you.
Well, obviously, I'm somewhere different. I'm actually in Texas, just outside of Austin, Texas today.
Yay.
I've been doing a little bit of travel the last week and a half or so. So it's gorgeous in Texas, I gotta say. Anyway, it's also the beginning of the end of the year. And so we are going to be talking about that specifically on the goals and the targets we've set for the year. We're going to be talking about yours too. And have you hit them all? Do you still need to jump in while the holidays are happening to make sure that you do hit some of those goals? That's our discussion on today's episode of Platinum Prime for Life. So
Yeah, it's a
Karen,
funny thing about I think it's really weird because we get to November and of course in October we start seeing Christmas trees come to the big box stores and this and that, and so we're always amazed and we say, "Wow, I can't believe it's November." Yeah, well, we never say, "Wow, I can't believe it's April." It's because it's a marker that tells us you're getting close to the end of the year, and you probably haven't taken stock of what you have done, of what you said you were going to do, and
right.
observing what you have accomplished and what you have not accomplished. I think is an important part. And so I think for you and me, I think you and I let's take a pledge that in the early part of November we start to look at the goals and plan out New Year.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make
Well,
sense?
the interesting thing about setting goals, and we will do our traditional January show for that, but setting goals at the beginning of the year, you have some keystones, some milestones, some things you definitely want to hit, but the year can serve up so many unpredictable things. And so sometimes it diffuses, at least for me personally, my attention on, the straight shot on yeah, I can see it. It's like right ahead goes, oh, I didn't expect that at all. And oh, so my attention does go off of it. So when November comes around, I think, oh, heck, or some other suitable word. I still have some things that I need to hit before the end of the year. And how am I going to fit it all in? How about you?
That's very cute. Well, definitely the same thing happens. I had an unusual circumstance this year because I've been seeking certain specific health-related goals for a year and a half, and one particular goal I have been seeking for 35, 36, maybe as much as 40 years. So 1990, how much is 90, the aughts, the teens, 35 years I've been, 35 years I've been seeking a particular goal. And this year, in the middle of the year, even like a third of the way through the year, I hit some major goals. Ever since 2024, I said, pain no more in 24. I've been battling chronic pain for a long time, Linda. And this year, in June, I became pain-free. And that was a huge goal. And also, I have stabilized every year, weight loss and weight maintenance and all of the things concerning the shape and size of my body and my relationship with food was always measured by, like right before Thanksgiving. How much did I weigh before Thanksgiving? How much was I going to lose? And this year I finally stabilized that relationship. I stabilized my metabolism, and I'm just so this has been a really unique year where I actually met some long held goals, really long time, like decades long goals that I have hit. So I'm pretty happy camper. I didn't hit my finance goals for the year because a lot of times goals from you do revolve around finances, and I think that that's an area where you're so brilliant and you can maybe help me reach my goals next year. But I met my health and wellness goals so that this year now the goal is to do better. Like I can hang for 20 seconds and do 20 leg lifts. Well, I need to
Good.
do more every day so that I can do 60 seconds and things like that. But it's all about getting better instead of removing bad habits. And that's a big, huge change. And I didn't really reflect on that until you called me up and you said, "What are we going to talk about?" And I said, "I don't know. Why don't we talk about how hard it is to choose something that's interesting? Because we're interested in everything. We're curious people. We are curious people. We're curious outward. I mean, we have curiosity. Uh, and and when you said that we should talk about goals because it's getting toward the end of the year, I didn't ever even I never even noticed what I just said to you. I never noticed until this minute.
Did you
There you go.
have the goal to hang for 60 seconds, or was that a goal you created mid-year? Just
This
curious.
year, I happened to I follow a bunch of senior health influencers because they are people who are either as old as I am or older than I am, who are more fit than I am. And I've learned that there are certain markers for how what promotes longevity. Healthy, I mean, living long is not a big deal. Living long healthy is a fantastic thing. So
That's
if
right.
you can hang, if a senior can hang for 1 minute, this means you have pretty darn good grip strength. And grip strength, oddly enough, is a predictor of longevity. Now you can't get grip strength by just squeezing they have things you can squeeze all day long. That is not going to do the trick. You have to be able to uh, hang your own body weight for 1 to 2 minutes for a senior. And then there's a thing called the farmer's carry, where you lift for a man 100%, but for a woman 75% of your body weight divided up into your two hands. Like for me, it'd be about 80 pounds. Can you carry 80 pounds for like a a good long day? Can you walk for a minute carrying? The nice thing about that, and that is a predictor, farmer's carry is a predictor of longevity. Well, it's also a predictor when you're 90 and you carry your own groceries. Or are you going to be a burden to your family or to the government or to your community? Or are you going to be living in a senior care facility? Linda, I visit every week. I go 2 or 3 times to a facility that either has people who need assistance in living because they have physical challenges, or memory care facility where they're on their way to, they're doing really poorly. So I see this I hang out with this kind of people, and it
I
makes
got
me
it.
so grateful
So hold
to
on.
sit. I
Hold
have
on.
to sit.
Hold on.
Okay.
So you formed that goal in the middle of the year. You didn't start out with it, that was a question. You didn't
I
start
got
out with being able to hang for 60 seconds.
No, somewhere along this year, I got that goal.
Okay. Because I just want to actually stay on the topic of the goals that we have and not actually get into the benefits of things, which we've covered before. And it's very real to me as well. But we're really just going to focus on the goals that we had. The goals now, you have a major goal that you set in the middle of the year, but you're still determined to hit it before the end of the year, right? And you're up to 20 seconds, which actually 20 seconds doesn't sound like a long time until you try doing it. So I totally, totally track with that.
Y'all come over and hang with me. When I say come
So
over and hang, I mean, come over and hang with me. Let's see how long you can hang.
I should totally do that. That's pretty funny. And, so I did have some health goals. They weren't as well formulated as yours, but along the way, I found a perfect workout, which is being a grandmother to a 2-year-old where you have to babysit them all day. Oh my gosh, that I've done it twice this year, and the first time, it quite honestly, I was like, "I am not up to it right now." This little thing is nonstop running and lots of attention. So, now part of my travels has been babysitting this little one, and, second time in, I prepped for babysitting. And now I'm about to become a grandmother yet again. So my trip to Texas included a visit to my son and daughter-in-law. And I'm about to become a grandma for the second time, which is exciting. And so, which means I have to double down on staying as healthy as you are, Karen, as healthy as you are. We'll hang out together. So now you did mention some financial goals and financial goals, trying to hit financial goals. If you're in like retail and Christmas and gift giving is your time to make a lot of money, that's great. Neither of us are in that zone. We don't deal with those type of things. So getting crafty on hitting your financial goals between now and the end of the year is a bit more challenging. Do you have a plan for that?
Do I?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
Like one of those, "Okay, we're gonna double down on our goals here."
Do you? You do,
I
you do.
actually do, but
Yeah.
are mine achievable? You know, the funny thing about what I do for a living is you can put a big number into play months ago, but it literally takes months for it to occur. So mine are not as achievable as I would like them to be between now and the end of the year because there's just some not prediction in how you pull those things off. However, when you're talking about any kind of goal, you kind of work backwards from here's the goal and here are the things I need to do to lead up to achieving that. So if I miss my window, which in all likelihood will also be a thing for me, I don't know how to make it shorter. Like I will get a little more clever about it. But um, the things that lead up to it, I definitely am doubling down on. And then within,
You. I'm proud of you. The only reason that I was very, uh, it was a bad answer to your question. It isn't that I don't have financial goals for the end of the year. I do.
yeah, yeah.
But they're not written down, no, and I don't have a clue if I'm gonna actually be able to execute them, so I it just embarrassed me. The question embarrassed me. I don't know, maybe how many of the people on this call would you be embarrassed if Linda said to you, "Do you have goals for the end of the year for your finances?" Would anybody else be like, "Uh, maybe." I don't know. They have
Well,
to let us.
finance is definitely being whole and financially in a good condition fuels so many other things. But the end of the year has so many things other than finances. Hopefully, you're not like spending yourself into big debt, enjoying the holidays. But it's time, again, for me, true wealth. What is true wealth? True wealth is more experiential than owning things, right? Meaning time you spend with friends like my beautiful friend Karen. those times where we've had adventures and time with family. They're precious times. Those are the things that when you're flipping back through the pictures, yeah, you might have like a big check and you go, "God, that was a great achievement." But what warms your heart are those times you hung out with friends, those times where you crossed the finish line of a challenge you set for yourself and you did well at it. Those are the things that you take with you. The time you had like the most insane birthday celebration that I'd gone through, where you planned out a days full of activities, I'll never forget it. It was like the best. So for me, wealth is have enough in your bank account, but definitely don't skimp on life experiences while you're building your financial nest egg.
Well, there's a fellow by the name of Buckminster Fuller. Are you familiar with that name? Okay, so for those who don't know Buckminster Fuller, he is a brilliant guy, and for one thing, he invented the geodesic dome. That's just one of his things that you know about him. Anyway, he defined true wealth, but he was speaking monetarily. But stick with me. He said
Okay.
that true wealth was wealth that carried on without you having to tend to it. In other words, the money was growing without you having to put in hours, time for money. And so that residual income, he said the only way that you could really be wealthy would be that the money would never run out. Because if it runs out, you have $1 million and you get down to $10 left, that's not true wealth. He said truth. Now, if you had true wealth according to his definition, you would no longer be worried about keeping food on the table or keeping gas in the tank or keeping the lights on, because you would know that that was cared for. So true monetary wealth could actually produce some benefits in the other areas that you were talking about, because if you weren't struggling to go get your government funded food from the grocery store, rather you were focused on how could you get over to the city where your grandchildren were so that you could spend the entire week of Christmas with them. That would be a much better problem, and it would be facilitated by having the true wealth per Buckminster Fuller's definition. So I guess I'm just saying that your component of wealth is extremely important to the other components. As I think your field and my field, if you don't have the wealth and you don't have the health, it's problematic. It's
That's right.
problematic you reaching your goals. So those two goals should be a component of our goals.
Absolutely. And we will talk about that near the very end or the beginning of the year because formulating the right goals for the year coming up should be embracive of all of those components of wealth. So definitely health is huge. Health is huge. Without health, all the other things diminish. Like having a lot of money and you're not healthy. Well, it's still fun to have a lot of money for sure. And money buys a lot of things. But if you're not healthy and there to enjoy it, it makes it less valuable. So the most valuable thing of all for a lifetime is to stay healthy for that entire lifetime
Yeah,
because
we've
then you
known
can
a lot
share
of we've known
yourself
a lot
with
of wealthy
everyone.
people. We have examples of wealthy people who didn't, with all their money, could not prolong their life beyond really too early. They left too early, and their
Mhm.
money didn't help.
Yep, exactly right. Anyway, so we will. So as you're talking about your goals for the year, you might have more emphasis on one over the other, like which ones are more meaningful. So I just wanted to bring up that enjoying your friends, enjoying your family, create big memories between now and the end of the year. You'll have lots of opportunity to do that. And you need to weigh the value of being spontaneous and in the moment because you're going to create a big memory, or push that aside because you have another goal that if you don't hit that goal, you're going to be very disappointed. Everyone will be disappointed, and it will have not good consequences on the other side.
Right. Yeah.
Those are up to you. So, weighing the value of goals that you've set for yourself between now and the end of the year and always is a factor that you should take into account as
Let's
you're
make a new
looking
holiday.
to hit it.
Let's
Let's
make a new holiday. Let's
what?
have the first Monday, the the second Monday in the third Monday in November. I'm trying to find it so that it could be a holiday coming up, but
The
instead of a
fourth
holiday,
Thursday. Yeah.
the third Monday in November, right before Thanksgiving, is Take Stock Day. Stock Day. Take stock of where you are so that you can start the planning, start the observation and the measurement of where you're at so that you can make the best decisions for the next coming year instead of
I
waiting
like
until
that.
the,
Do you remember when the term SRA entered your life? Do you
I don't
remember
even
what
know.
that is?
Uh,
Okay, SRA is severe reality adjustment.
oh, SRA. Oh, that's cool. I didn't. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe
That'd be like,
then
you're speeding down the road really fast in a car, enjoying how fast your car is, how beautiful the day is, and then you see the flashing lights and you go, "Ooh."
SRA.
Yeah.
That's a good term. Can it be SRA day?
Yeah, it's SRA day. We'll name it that, which is pull out your goals for the year. Look at where you are, what you intended to do, and the severe reality adjustment is what is the actuality of now compared to that.
Yes.
And then decide which ones are achievable that you can really make it, do your sprint, end of the year sprint to hit those. And if dieting was one of the things that you wanted to hit, like a weight goal, be real about it, right? With all the parties and all of the celebrations, be real. Is that going to happen? Or if it's a fitness goal, be real about it. And fitness goals, I think, are awesome. I think you should go for your fitness goals. Whatever they were,
I
go
want
for
to
them.
rename it. I don't want it to be SRA day. I want it to be Sprint Day.
Sprint.
Sprint to the end of the year.
Okay. Sprint
Or
planning days, planning your
sprint
sprint day.
sprint planning day. Sprint day.
Okay, then that's official. We are going to officially call the Monday before Thanksgiving Sprint
Sprint
Day.
day. Happy Sprint Day. Merry Sprint Day. Happy Sprint Day.
I don't know. We'll dress appropriately. That'll be a
Okay.
day before a podcast episode. So let's make our next one at a sprint. We'll give people like some really good pointers on how to do it effectively.
Okay, I like that. Let's do
Uh-huh. All sorts of
it.
like technology things we can share, things that help us stay on track. All right. So, do you have any other nuggets of wisdom for our listeners on how to hit your goals before the end of the year and do it with a big smile on your face?
I say put life in your life. Put life. Imbue the thing around you with life. I made him into a lively thing, right? So
You
put
did.
life in your life.
I love it. All right, Bear. Bear is your what is it? Your
I guess
coach,
you would
your
say
goal
he's my
coach.
spirit. He's my spirit guide, I guess.
He's
Maybe
your
he's my
spirit guide.
passion. I don't know.
All right, everyone. So, do have attention on your goals. Many of them are achievable between now and the end of the year. So, dust them off, look them over if you haven't looked at them for a while. Decide which ones you can make before the end of the year. Put your plan together to do it. And in our next next episode, we will again revisit this topic, but we're going to talk about sprinting. And Karen is going to pep talk us all the way. She's good at that. All right. So thank you so much for joining us this week. And next week, I will be back in Florida.
He's coming over. He's trying to give you a kiss, but it's not working.
You're blurring out there, Bear. All right. Bye, everyone.